Hi everyone, welcome back to our devotions today, and I am really excited to share my story with you guys today about a time in my life where things didn't go as planned, where I thought they were going to go, a specific way and they didn't. And I feel like we all have these stories because we all have this idea in our heads and in our minds about how our life is going to end up or how a particular situation is going to play out. And very rarely, at least for myself, is that the actual reality. The time that I think back most about is when I was going to college. And now a lot of you who were at the church when I was graduating high school and going off to college may remember, but I was all set to go to a college on the west side of the state, and I was so excited. I worked really hard to be able to get into that school and, convince my parents that it was the right thing for me to do and all of that. And I got there and I didn't want to be there anymore. I had probably some kind of mental breakdown, and my mom ended up coming to pick me up the third day I was there, and I re-enrolled with the help of my dad, into U of M Flint, and went to U of M Flint. Did not like it at all. Wanted to go back to that university or that college on the west side of the state. So I reapplied, moved back in, lasted even less time this time, and came home again and re-enrolled back into U of M Flint, and then just submerged myself into the community of U of M Flint. I joined a sorority, I got involved on campus, I made friends, I got a job, at a local store, and I just really dug into my faith at that point because my life was turning out to be a lot different than I had pictured my college years to look like, but not in a bad way. So I want to share a few of the pieces of scripture that I looked to then and that I look to now whenever I feel like there's change coming and I don't like it or I'm scared. So the first one is John 14:27. And it says this: "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid." This is so important for us in this time of change. If there is nothing else that 2020 has taught us, it is that change is always here. We will always have to adapt and always have to change. And God says, don't be afraid. Don't let your hearts be troubled by change. Change is not always a bad thing. And we need to remember that and to not let our hearts be afraid because we are kept by the most sacred. I also like Psalm 55:22, which says, "Cast your cares on the Lord and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken." So I like this a lot, and I share this piece of scripture a lot with my youth because we as Christians have somebody that will literally take our burdens away from us by allowing us to leave them at the cross, by allowing us to cast them to him. And another piece of scripture that goes hand in hand with that one, and then another one I share with the youth a lot, is 1 Peter 5:7, and this is another one of my absolute favorite pieces of scripture. And it says, "Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you." If there is one thing we know to be most certainly true, it is that God cares about us. And he does not want us to be afraid. He does not want us to worry about earthly things, right? So if we cast all of our anxiety onto God, we are able to live a more, life in peace, really. So I like those three pieces of scripture the most out of a lot of the ones I've come across, and there are lots of them. So if you guys would leave in the comments down below what your favorite piece of scripture is in a time of uncertainty or when things don't go as planned, I would be happy to see what they are because I'm sure I'll need to use them. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope you guys have a great week and a beautiful weekend.